Okay, so welcome to this video. We're going to talk about how to understand the statistics, what they mean, and any questions you may have around the statistics side. So, first things first is to access your statistics. Essentially, this is inside campaign level. So, if we look in the campaign list, and again, our statistics, which obviously is how you then report. So this is where basically, if we click on the statistics tab, you'll see here it kind of shows you an overview of the registrations, where you can go in and see all the registrations and then kind of how much they viewed in the webinar or whatever it may be. You can see the call bookings here, or if you just want to get an overview of what's kind of happening within the campaign, then you can click on this tab here, and it will bring up a specific search function that you can then work out kind of what areas you want to look at. So first things first is this is showing obviously by default the day, and it's today's date. So whatever the day is you're logging in, it will show any data there for the date. You can automatically load and it'll be fine. Now, I obviously don't want to necessarily look at one day. I might want to look at a given period. So what we got here is a couple of options just to explain what they are. The first one is day, which is a given day, and you can select any day. Next one is a week. Now, this is obviously going to go back 7 days from today. Okay, so it's not like a calendar week. It's going to go back 7 days from today's date. A month is going to go back from 1 month from today and go back 31 days from today. And a year is going to go back the whole year. Okay, now most of you will come in here and use custom dates because you'll want to analyze a different period of time or whatever. So custom dates is the one I recommend, and you can come in here and click the selected dates. So let's say I want to analyze this month. So I click from the 1st to the 15th, let's say. I hit refresh. And if there's any data going to show here, it will then show below. So we can see here in December, we had an opt-in rate of 13%. And this just gives a bar chart, opt-in rate of 13%, a view rate of 50%. And we can see here then kind of how it breaks down. So what's happened here is it's shown here as the areas in a bar chart. But obviously we kind of want to have a little bit more look at the data itself. So let's load up a little bit more data just so we can get a bit better format here just to show you a bit more. So I'm just going to come in here, custom dates, and I'm actually going to select here, let's go to a different month, and let's go from September through to today. So let's just say I want to analyze 2-3 months back, whole data. So I'm basically coming here and I can now see the data here. So let's just go in here. Let me just reset that. I didn't actually select the right data. October the 1st, there we go, October the 1st to December, hit refresh. Okay, here we go. So we've got here the data. This campaign's only been running obviously a short time by the looks of it. So we can see in here we have. So we can see here, look, at a glance, this whole campaign for this period, opt-in rate of 9%, and we can see it's red because it's below the metric that we recommend. View rate 32%, so again below the metric that we recommend, and calls booked 3%, so again below the recommend number. If it was above the suggested targets that we see here, then it would show green. Okay, but the first thing you'll see here underneath here is page views. And this is how many times people have viewed the page. It's based on a unique view. So that basically means if someone revisits the page more than once, it won't count. It will only count it once. Now, obviously, if people have their settings disabled for tracking, etc., then it will count it twice. But as long as they have a standard browser configuration, then it won't count it more than once. So there is a number here that you'll see, and that's how many people that have visited the opt-in page. Doesn't mean they've opted in. They have just visited. They viewed the page. The next number down will tell you how many people have actually opted in, and then work out the calculations for you. So you can see here 189 people have opted in, which is 9% of that total number of page views. Then from that, it then works out how many people have viewed the webinar, and I'll explain what that means in a second, but 61 people, which is 32% of people who viewed the webinar. And as a result, we've had 5 people book a call, which is 3% of people here. And then calls closed. If we've made any sales, I'll show you in a separate support video how you mark it as a closed sale. So therefore, it can work out that number for you as well. So you don't even have to do that. So that's how you get your kind of overview. Okay. Now, the next thing you'll want to see is if maybe you're trying to analyze what your view rates are in your webinar and where you might have a problem. So in this case, we know we have a problem because it's well below our target. We can see here that there's some columns. Now, you can see here, this is a percentage. It tells us total webinar duration in this case is 45 minutes and 2 seconds. And we have here a started column. Now, this started column is basically 0 to 10 seconds. So if someone watches more than 10 seconds, they appear in this started column block here. 10 minutes, then 10, 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 50, etc. on there. So you can see the whole process of how that looks. So again, when you're doing your reporting, you can see what's going on, and obviously you can understand there what's going on, and obviously refer to the High Ticket Coach Academy training area. If you're struggling to get call bookings, you can read how to read that data to understand what you need to adjust in your webinar. But this is how you get the data and understand it from there. Now, what you may well find, it's very common because of the way Facebook do their tracking, is that the number you see here, so let's say this is 189, and I went into Facebook and I looked at the same period, I might find that their data says there's 229 opt-ins, or maybe it's like, 160. The number will likely be different. Now, the reason that is one thing. Facebook has a thing called their attribution model, which basically means, in a nutshell, keeping it really simple, it doesn't count live. So what it does, it counts live for what happens on that day, but then it might well add up 7 days worth of back data to that later on. So what happens is, someone opts in today, then they'll get counted today. If someone books a call today, it gets counted today. But if someone clicks the ad today but doesn't opt in, but then maybe 2 days later sees your ad again and now clicks the ad, Facebook will then add it in at a later date. So therefore your numbers will be different in Facebook to what you're seeing here. So I highly recommend using the data inside of ClientFunnels, because we know we've got 189 registrations, i.e. 189 opt-ins, email addresses of people who've opted in for the webinar, whereas Facebook may say 229 or 16 or whatever the number is, it's going to be different. So please be aware that's maybe why your Facebook ad details might be slightly different to what you're seeing inside of ClientFunnels. It's not that there's anything wrong with ClientFunnels, it's just the way that Facebook actually reports on it. And also remember that things like page views, if people have their cookies disabled, then Facebook can't track them properly, whereas obviously we can't track them as well, but we know they've opted in, so page views might be slightly out as well. So just be aware of those numbers. They might be different. It's not a problem in the software. Every software has this problem in working with Facebook. It's just one of the things in how they track. They have this attribution model, which is good because it does go back kind of 7 days from when things happen, but it will mean on a daily basis sometimes your numbers might be out. That is why that is happening, okay? But that's really the statistics and how to kind of understand them. Like I say, if you need more information, please check out the relevant support videos on how to